Welcome to Never Shut Up. I'm your host, Marcellus Wiley, about to take you on this journey around the world of sports, entertainment, culture, and life. But we know this world is huge. This world is vast. And I'm not going to run all that damn distance by myself. So I'm going to bring along my man, co-host John Brenkus, a six-time Emmy Award winner, founder of Brinks TV. What's up, John? We can always get into the hoodie talk. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm wearing my Grayton Beach hoodie today. If y'all haven't been down to 30A, which is a little strip of beach down on the panhandle of Florida, that's where Grayton Beach is. And by the way, I appreciate you allowing me to be on your relay team. This is the only relay team I could be on with.
Oh, that's you damn right, because I was fast. You were just on the team, right?
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
Man. Well, speaking of speed, let's get into this topic right now real fast. And our topic today, starting off, is Kurt Warner not embracing debate. Kurt Warner went to Twitter to express himself, like we all do now, right? And he had a quote that really hit me right where I am in terms of what I'm doing in content and also in the heart, because I've been feeling this way for a long time. As I quote Kurt Warner, "When did we decide loud, confrontational analysis is quote unquote best analysis? Am I the only one that would rather analysts just be themselves, come educated, bring a smart and unique take, and then let viewer use info to decide what to believe? Analyze to educate, not to win the question." Woo! Hit send, Kurt Warner. When he hit send on that thing, it came right to me in my brain. Where did it go for you, John Brenkus? What's your reaction to this tweet?
Here's my reaction. I was born in 71. In like 71 and 80, whether or not it was sport or politics or whatever, the conversation used to go, dude, you know what? I think you're kind of silly for thinking different thought than I do. And he'd say, really? I think you're kind of silly. All right, well, we're just going to be silly. That's how it used to be. Now it's, bruh, your side is like yelling a lot, and I'm not sure why you're yelling so much. To which the other side says, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't yell. You're the one who yells. Right. And then the other side says, I don't yell. What are you talking about? Wait a minute here. And then get it up. And Marcellus, let me just tell you something right here. I don't yell. I'm not yelling to make a point. This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing. Do you want to know what? You are a fucking idiot. You're a fucking moron. And you over there, you disagree with me? Fuck you.
Okay. Between the bleeps, we caught what you were saying right there, man. Obviously, I don't think you're embracing the debate as well. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I am not going to blame the genre of debate for what is going on right now in today's discourse. I'm not going to do that because I don't think that's fair to debate. Let me take you all the way back. Let's unpack this because this is interesting. I love what Kurt Warner said, but at the same time, there is a flip side to that coin. I was there day one of Embrace the Debate. I think the poster child in terms of creation was Jamie Horowitz, executive at ESPN at the time. And I remember doing test shows for not only First Take as it became, but Sports Nation, and I used to do Cold Pizza. And I saw that evolution. And what they were really trying to recreate was the barbershop. And we all been to the barbershop before where you're entertained more than you're educated. But there is this balancing act, right? Like you're going to go in there and you're going to hear some things say, okay, old man, I heard you. But at the same time, the volume will just continue to increase even if they're saying the same thing. So the platform, the actual genre of Embrace Debate, I don't have a problem with. Here's what I have a problem with is when you're yelling, are you listening? Or are you just saying the same thing louder at volume, but not greater in quality? I don't like that part. And I also don't like that it seems like now there's no room for a contrarian opinion. There's nothing for the contrary to actually have space when you're debating somebody. It's like, I got my side, you got your side. And then it's like, but can I ever give you something? Can I ever have nuance? Can I ever say, you know what, that was a good point? Not by the debate format. The debate format says, hey, you got to bunker down and just ride all day for your side, even if your side is proven wrong. So that's my only issue with it, John. It's not like this 30,000 foot issue. It's more of like getting into the weeds of this. I don't like how the Army is rolling this thing out in debate.
Totally. I mean, listen, the art of the argument is about making a point, and in order to be persuasive, you have to listen to the other side. And to me, listen, I was born and raised Catholic. And you know what my parents did not do? They didn't send me to Catholic school because they're like, why go there? Like, we're Catholic. Like, why don't you mix with like other people and other things and other thoughts, right? Yeah, so it's like, you in order to strengthen your argument, you have to hear the other side. Not like you got to hear it. You got to really, really listen carefully and say, I'm assuming that person doesn't think that they are nuts themselves. So what is the part that they are internalizing? Am I missing something? Do they have any points? That's how you form a great persuasive argument, not by just elevating your volume.
Yeah, man, it's silly. It's really silly. And I mean, it's fatiguing to not only watch it as a viewer, but let me tell y'all, for 20 years, it's fatiguing to do it. Like, you just gotta just ride. I felt like growing up. Like, I felt like I had to be a Crip or a Blood. And I was like, I don't bang, dog. I don't want to be either one of them. And they like, well, that's another gang then. We're gonna ride on you nerds, right? You just gotta pick a side and just go blindly with it. To me, it was just so stupid, so dumb. But one of my qualities is, I think one of my superpowers is I talk a lot, but I listen more. And that's the thing. I'm always trying to engage with somebody to selfishly strengthen what I'm about to say, strengthen what I'm about to do. Like, I'm using you to add to me, to layer my conversation. And it's interesting, we're in a place right now where that's not occurring. So now we just have these binary sides just banging on each other. And I think that people are really fatigued of it because they watch the game as well, and they're nuanced. They're like, ooh, that was good by them. Oh, that was great by them. So when we don't have that blend, it just seems like we're in a weird place. And it's because of social media. It's because of the economics. It's almost like tortoise in the hare. Like, what I do, I'm a tortoise. Like, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be methodical. I'm going to choose my words properly. Ga-dook, ga-dook. And then meanwhile, this hare is just going to run by me and say, fuck that shit. Fuck you, motherfucker. Like what you just did. And then he going to pop. And everybody going to go, he viral. He said what I needed to hear. And it just makes no sense unless you saw that cartoon, how it ended. The tortoise, somehow, some way, always beat that hare. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, we have more juicy topics going around this world of sports entertainment. We're going to talk about now the topic of online bullying and its effect on today's culture. All that and more on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. John Brenkus over there, Marcellus, Wiley right here. And we're going to dive into the topic of online bullying right now. And I'm not going to lie, this was something that used to make me cringe when I heard of online bullying. You know, I grew up, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you, right? And then all of a sudden, everyone's talking about what happens online in this virtual space, which wasn't reality for me. But the suicide by DJ Twitch and Ellen DeGeneres coming out talking about her DJ's death and how the impact of her show going off and his support of her all through her scandals maybe contributed to his suicide. So I want to talk to you, John, about this online bullying and your effect and what you've been through in terms of online, people talking trash about you, and how it internalized.
I am ridiculously blessed because I grew up in a household where it was no holds barred. People just said whatever they want to. And the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me was so ingrained in me. as I told you before, Marcellus, when I went into high school, I literally was 4'8", 86 pounds. So as you can imagine, right? You're in high school. What are people going to say about you? Hey, you little twerp, you little tiny shrimp, you're tiny. And I'm there going, yes, I am. You're right. Like, you're correct. And then as you kind of like grow up and as I'm, getting my verbal skills about me and people are like, you know what? You're really loud and you're obnoxious and you talk all the time and I don't like you. And I'm like, all right, that sounds pretty good. And then I get acne and I get now Marcellus, I'm not talking about getting a whitehead that you're like, I get the kind of acne that you go, oh my God. What happened to that guy? So someone would look at me and go, yeah, it's like this. And they're like, your face is disgusting. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
And so all of this armor that you build up as a kid where you're like, no, that's true. You take it on to the adult professional world and people are like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, sometimes, yeah. I don't know if you're right this moment, but I do a lot of stupid things. So yeah, I do. Or someone, I hate you. It's like, I don't even know you. Like, all right, that's cool. Whatever. To me, it just doesn't resonate. I don't read. I don't really engage in the social media thing. So the online of it all, it doesn't matter if it's online or in person. I just take everything with, whatever. That's just me.
Great point about online or in reality, it has to hit me. But to hit me, I got to give it permission to hurt me, right? So that's the thing about it for me as well. I grew up the same way. Like, my grandma talked shit from hello. Like, she didn't care. And it just undressed me when I was like 8 years old. And then I grew up to be an adult like, yo, you're not going to do anything to me coming in comparison to what I grew up doing and grew up seeing. So I'm with you there. What's interesting? The thing that happened to me that made me all of a sudden distance myself from all of the remarks, the good ones and the bad ones, because sometimes they can blow up your balloon so big and make your head so big. You're amazing. You're the best to ever do it. Oh my God. And you're like, yeah, keep it chill. Keep it even keel, And then sometimes they come at you. What you say? Oh my God, you hate who? You talked about what? And then you're like, keep it even keel. Keep it chill, right? It's almost like playing sports. Like, you win a big game, you blow somebody out 48-10. You can't act like you won a Super Bowl. Just like if you lost that same game 10-48, you can't act like the season's over. You got to keep it somewhere in the middle. But the story that I got for you, John, is one day I was leaving downtown ESPN in LA. And a guy all of a sudden was talking to me, fan, giving me love, blah, blah, blah. I go inside and I'm prepping for the show, getting ready to do it. And I'm logging on to Twitter or whatever, looking at it. And people were talking trash about me a little bit. I probably said something about their team, whatever. I don't even remember. And something just clicked. Like, whoa. One, I get a million positive messages, but I'm only going to focus and select a perception about that one negative one. Like, that one stands out instead of the million I scroll by that were loved. Two, the one that is dissing me could have been the guy I just saw that parked my car in valet. And that's not to diminish the dude. It just made me say, I don't know, fool. I don't know who he is. And he probably don't know what he's talking about, right? So then I started to just run with it, like go into Matrix with it. Like, yo, half these cats may not even be real dudes, bots. And on top of that, they may not really know what they're talking about. Why in the hell would you ever let it disturb your emotional state? And from that point on, dog, it just gave me clarity, because before I was just ignored. Before I was just dismissive. But now I was actually engaging with it, but realizing, man, this stuff ain't nothing.
A lot of people find it hard to believe that I've never been in a fight. The biggest reason why I've never struck another human being is I don't get angry at someone who's angry. I'm like, if someone doesn't like you, I'm like, all right, guess who I don't want to be around? This guy. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm not going to try to convince somebody, oh, you think I'm an idiot and you're angry at me? Well, you might be half right. Maybe I am an idiot. I don't know. At the moment, I don't know if I think I'm an idiot, but I've done a lot of stupid things. And on your flip side, what's interesting is how people are saying, well, this online bullying is terrible. And listen, to each their own. The world is basically a product of your own perception. I think what's worse than the online bullying is the online complimenting. I mean, dude, someone saying you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're a genius. And for those people who like somehow get a dopamine rush because they're like, oh my God, someone liked a post, or they said I'm pretty, or they said I'm smart. I'm like, you know what, dude, let's get real. When you roll out of bed, how pretty are you? Like when you're really put to the test, how smart are you? And I tell everybody, I'm like, anybody who says that I'm brilliant, that I'm a genius, that's because you don't know me. Like if you get to know me, I'll change your mind real fast. You can say it, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's real, because I got to know you over the years, and he's no genius, y'all. He just knows how to produce the hell out of one conversation here, throw some animation on it, and John Brenkus is a genius. That's how he rolls. Nah, in all seriousness, man, it's funny because social media is nothing but a highlight reel. Like, we're all in high school trying to get recruited. Like, you know what I mean? People always tell me, you're the best father ever. And I'm like, well, I am a damn good father. I will give you that. But best father ever, why? Because you see me playing with my kids? I'm supposed to play with my kids. What the hell you thinking? Like, who doesn't play with their kids? No, but you really play with your kids. You mean like I really care about my kids? It just makes no sense when you say that. You know what's funny about it all? I love the fact that you said there's something worse than online bullying. There is. Actual real life bullying. Like, I went through that before. Like, dude, you can hit me all day with your words. Your nouns and verbs don't hurt. You know, you mess around and put some hands on me or get jumped like I did when I was in the 3rd grade. It's a different conversation. So for all the people out there, I just hope that you find your way, your antidote to engage with social media, because it's the biggest group text in the world. I ain't got to tell everybody that my son's birthday was amazing. I just post one picture and y'all be like, oh, that was fresh. And I love it for that. But at the same time, y'all, don't take this stuff personally. Like, don't take it home. As John said, the good and the bad. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, it's time to talk about somebody, and not in a glowing way. Tom Brady is not wanted in a Raiders uniform because, frankly, a Hall of Famer for the Raiders says he's too damn old. Ooh, let's get into that. Ageism. That's next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. John Brenkus, Marcellus, Wiley, two real old guys about to talk about someone who's not as old as us, but maybe too old to play football, at least in Vegas, according to Tim Brown, who says that Tom Brady is just starting to show his age, 45, 46. He's too old to play for his Raiders, and they shouldn't be interested in it. And then he went, side note, by the way, and he's not mobile. Like he wasn't mobile when he was 21, let alone when he's 45. I get it. But what was your response to this, John, when you heard that Tom Brady's too old to play for the Raiders?
I mean, the reality is Tom Brady's style of play doesn't require youth. It really doesn't. I mean, he was not a scrambler. He's cerebral. He never had the quickest release. He didn't throw the hardest ball. He's a really smart, his football IQ is off the chart. He understands the dink and dunk game all over the place. Like, he's just like throwing little darts. He's, with the exception of the season with Randy Moss, when he threw 50, didn't he throw 50 or 40 with Randy? I mean, that was an amazing season. Other than that, you take that out, it's a bunch of screen passes, quick slants, little quick patterns. And that's not a pejorative. He's won more Super Bowls than anybody. And if Tom Brady wants to play, I certainly would have him on my team. I mean, who are you going to get that's better in terms of wanting to win? You got to put other pieces around him. But I don't think there's any evidence that he's too old yet, because it's not like he's, Michael Vick or Patrick Mahomes, where being mobile was key. he can sit there and throw darts all day.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he can manipulate the defense by knowing his offense and anticipation, always get the ball to the proper guy, you don't really age out of that. It's crazy because when Tom Brady left New England, people said, oh, he's too old. That's why he has to go. That's why the decline in the last year or so in New England, right? Then all he did was just go to Tampa Bay and win a Super Bowl. Thought he was too old. Oh, he's not too old now, you know? And so this is the narrative that always sits in someone's back pocket. And they just wait and they ignore all of your success or any other thing that actually goes to the contrary. Now, I love Tim Brown, and I think he has a point here. Like, yo, Tom Brady, another year like this year, without you being in training camp for 11 days because you're going through the divorce, without you being all the way locked in, let's be real, you didn't have your best season, even in terms of mental anticipation. The arm strength seems to be the same as it was, if not slightly improved. But the narrative is if you're playing so-so and you're old, guess what? We're going to say you're too old. It's just as simple as that. And then when you bring into the mobility, that's when you know it's starting to reach. Like, dog, he ain't never been mobile. We don't even look at Tom Brady as a guy that's going to break a play down and scramble away. So my takeaway was I would give him another roll of the dice. And certainly he's box office, fills the seats. The bottom line is going to be affected. He's going to bring in revenue. And he only had one bad year in the last 3 years when last 3 years I thought he was too old.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is the dude certainly has earned the right to determine whether or not he plays. I mean, that's just
that part.
fact. I mean, you win that many Super Bowls, you're like, yeah, as long as I still look the same. And honestly, even though people are like, oh my God, this year is a disaster, I don't know how you play football, not only going through a divorce, not only having an aging body, but losing how much money to FTX? I mean, that's a little distracting. You're like, down. So, wait, I lost like hundreds of millions of dollars? I mean, it's got to be, I don't know how, when people are like, you're not focused on the field. It's like, yeah, I got a couple things going on off the field that are distracting me, even though I'm Tom Brady. I'm not really thinking about like if we're running 32 dive or not.
Yeah, Tom Brady had it wild. Like, I mean, look, he's Captain America, so we forget that he's still a human being that got to put on that suit to be Captain America, right? Like Tom Brady, remember this is a mixed family in terms of it's like the modern family. He got the son that's from somebody else, so he living with him, right? So then Tom Brady just trying to watch film. And then Giselle and that son getting into it. She can't really check him because that ain't her son fully. So he over there running the house. Then he's like, all right, I'm just trying to watch film. Y'all chill. Giselle mad at him because she's like, damn, you 900 years old, been watching film forever. You still watching it? Don't you know football by now? Shut up, Giselle. I'm trying to watch film. Then he over there, he checks the screen. He looks at his NASDAQ. He's like, yo, what the hell? I'm losing all my dough. Where my money going? And Tom Brady looking at film with one eye open. He looking at everything else. It's just madness. And I'm sure that translated more to his decline than his age because the dude's only 1 year or 2 years older than when he won a Super Bowl, and we thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. So, Tim Brown, I get it. You're a skill player. Me in the trenches, oh, hell no. There's a birth certificate necessary to play those positions. But when you talk about the quarterback position, using your brain over your body, Tom Brady deserves the benefit of the doubt to continue to play. Well, coming up on Never Shut Up, it's time for us to go deep. It's time to go to Brinks TV and get that full episode. It's time to walk in my shoes, where we're going to talk our perspective, our reaction. This is the 3-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death. John's going to tell me where he was and how he felt when he first heard the news. All of that coming up on Brinks TV, and we see you guys later on Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. John Brenkus, Marcellus, Wiley. And now we're going to dive into a topic that affected us all, especially the two people you see on your screen right now, as we're now on the 3-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death in the helicopter crash in Calabasas, right next door to where I live right now. And John Brenkus, this segment is called Walk in My Shoes because we want to hear what you felt in that moment when you heard that devastating news. What was your response?
And I'll never forget that day. I actually was very near there on the day that it happened. I was staying up in Westlake Village at the time, which is right next to Calabasas. I actually lived in the Oaks, which is the backside of where Kobe's helicopter crashed. It was in the backside of the Oaks, which is like a really big neighborhood in Calabasas. And the first thought was, there's no way this is real. I mean, that's the first thought. And there were conflicting reports going around. And, I'm skeptical by nature. And when I heard the news, I'm like, there's no way it's true. Do you want to know why? Because I'm working with Kobe Bryant on a project right now. There's no way he died. Herbert, roll that clip.
Wow.
We were doing a project with Mamba Sports Academy. I mean, that was literally shot just a few days, maybe a couple weeks before he died. And we were working on a project, really launching Mamba Sports Academy to the next level. And, he was flying in on his helicopter. He lived down in Orange County. And so we'd go up and shoot, and he would fly in. And I've been really fortunate because I've been around sports for so long. Kobe and I had been in different scenarios together. So we kind of knew each other a little bit. He wasn't a best friend by any means, but we were friendly enough that, he wanted to work with me. I wanted to work with him. We respected each other. We knew each other a little bit. And I just worked with him. And when you found out that it was true, to say my heart was broken, my soul was ripped, you're just like, this is one of the most important sports figures ever in the history of sports, and he's gone. It was just total bewilderment, honestly.
Yeah, unreal. And not only his daughter, but 7 other passengers all fatally killed in that moment. And I remember exactly, like to the second, what was happening, because I was actually going to the airport to take a flight. So I'm saying goodbye to the kids and hugging the wife, and then just looked at my phone and saw the alert. And sometimes, like you said, it just doesn't seem real. And I think it's largely because he was bigger than life. Even though I knew Kobe Bryant, I had worked with Kobe Bryant, I had seen Kobe Bryant, I've done events with Kobe Bryant. This hit me in a different way because I was like, there's no way he's gone. And my first thought was a selfish athletic thought. I was like, there's no way he's dead when he spent 20 years playing basketball to set himself up to live after playing basketball. And it's cut that short, and it just hit me. That was like a ton of bricks that hit me in the head because I couldn't imagine everything that I went through, and on a much smaller scale, obviously, than Kobe Bryant. But I still have my life to live. That's one of the things that you're holding your breath in terms of anticipation when you retire. I can live, right? I build up this dynasty. I build up this legacy. I build up my success. I get my money from it, and I translate it to the real life human experience. And I was like, that's not going to happen for Kobe Bryant. And then you go through there's no way this is real. But everyone keeps telling you, oh, it's real. It's happening. And it was devastating in the way, I'll be candid with you guys. The toughest thing for me was Kobe and I were really cool. Like, he always used to say, you of all reporters, I like because you tell the truth. He's like, when I play bad, I check some cats out and they still trying to be the homie. He's like, you'll tell me, nah, no, that wasn't right. And, I had to cover the Lakers working at ESPN across the street from Staples Center when Kobe Bryant was coming down the hill, right? And I felt bad, not because Kobe didn't understand where I was coming from and our relationship, because he did. I felt bad because I think the public at times didn't understand how much I love Kobe Bryant. But as we were just talking about, if a Tim Brown is looking at the Raiders saying, I don't want Tom Brady, there are times where you have to actually look at an athlete for their performance, not just in their stature and greatness. That was the one thing I felt bad about. I was like, damn, I ain't clean that up. People don't know how much I love this dude. But all things considered, man, in that moment, you said it best. It was an out-of-world experience. There's no way I thought that what I was reading, what I was hearing, was actually based in reality.
Yeah, and just my quick little Kobe Bryant stories. I actually did a thing with Kobe when he entered the league, and it was at Madison Square Garden, actually, where that was where he was posting up against MJ in the All-Star game. And I think he was 19. I'm like, he was either 19 or 20. He would he skipped college, came from high school. And if you remember, he was a wide-eyed, like, what is going on? Oh my God, I'm surrounded by every superstar. And he was not like Mr. Swagger, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread when he was in his first year. And everybody was waiting to watch him post up against MJ, and he did awesome. And you're like, oh my God. Then I remember he won years before he won his first championship, where people credited him. They were like, nah, it was Shaq. And he's like, bruh, like, I'm on the roster. Don't overlook me here. Then he has the whole stuff that happened in Colorado where when everybody wants to look at Kobe Bryant, look at the whole person. There has never been a higher profile athlete, politician, celebrity who handled the situation in terms of a PR front better by saying, yes, I sinned. I did not commit a crime, and I am not going to let this slide. And how he went back and forth between Eagle, Colorado, and the Staples Center to play, you're like, how in the world does he do that? And that really is, I think, where the Black Mamba mentality came in to filter it all out, focus, and be a superhero. And I did a project with Nike about how superstars especially have to form this persona because they have to transcend being a normal person. So the Black Mamba was like this superhero uniform. And then when you get off the court, you got to take that off and be human. And if there was ever an athlete, high-profile athlete, who loved his family more, I don't know who it was, because he was with his kids all the time, not for a photo op, not to say, look at me, because he really wanted to be with his family. And his view on girls playing sports with boys was identical to mine. I had put out this TED Talk, and he was backing it up. And I was just blessed to just even know him and work with him a little bit like I did. Miss him.
Yeah, it's crazy you say it like that, because I know someone is sitting there eye rolling right now. A little sappy for me, a little too glowing. But if you knew him, you would know that these things are real. And it's funny because I got to meet him my rookie year because he's younger than me, but he was in the league a year before me. And we were at Cedric Ceballos' house, right? Remember Cedric Ceballos for the Lakers, right? This is how long ago this is, like 97. And we went to, this is the pool party. Like Cedric Ceballos LA pool party, epic. Like can't get in people, right? Like shuttle buses everywhere and porta potties, like it's next level, right? And I remember going in there and I was hanging with a bunch of guys, including Kobe. And by the end of the party, we all leaving, and I'm pumped. I'm like, oh, I got 19 numbers. I'm about to call them all or text them, whatever the hell we were doing with them old Sky Pagers and flip phones. I'm in the zone. And I remember Kobe looking at me. He said, man, I'm out, and I ain't coming back. Like, it was overwhelming to him. He was like, this ain't it, bro. And then when I would see him, it was always like somewhere chill or like Orange County. He's just like, man, forget it. I'm out. I'm off the circuit, right? And his image, he was the McDonald's kid and dated Brandy or went on her prom date, whatever. Like he had this perfect image. And then all of a sudden, Colorado hit. And when Colorado hit, two things I noticed because I was privy to the knowledge on the inside. One was, oh, man, like you said, he sinned, but in his eyes and in the eyes of many who know that situation, oh, he didn't commit a crime, right? And that was a situation where everyone knew of reputation to go to the hotel, talk to this girl, and she likes basketball. Let's just say that, right? And then that turned sideways. No one was in the moment, so no one could truly verify it, but that went sideways, right? But the greater point is what you said. Kobe Bryant came out of that with a different persona, protection, armor. And then, the whole Black Mamba, which he stole from the homie, DeAnthony Thomas, who went to Crenshaw in Oregon, played in the league. This little kid was actually Black Mamba. Kobe like, yo, you ain't famous enough yet. Give me that nickname. Took it. Snoop Dogg can verify that story. I digress. But he got a new nickname. He got the Black Mamba protection. And that was just go at it at all costs. Why? Because Kobe Bryant had to go from one extreme where I could do no wrong to one extreme where you see I do no right. And that's happening to one human being inside their vessel, inside their mind. And he's like, the only way to deal with it is to give them that cover. So all of those things added up to Kobe Bryant just being this guy who seemed like he was the ultimate villain, but he was so likable, if you could consider Colorado in a different light, that he balanced it out like remarkably. He wasn't so killer that all of a sudden he wasn't a girl dad. He wasn't so killer that every teammate, despite them not liking him, had to respect him. And to me, that is a fine line to walk. But Kobe Bryant did it brilliantly.
It's just sad. I mean, it's sad because like when you think of someone and you go, I was really glad I got to meet him, or I'm really glad I have those memories. He wasn't old enough for me to say, I'm really glad he's gone. Like, I'm not. Like, that guy impacted so many people. And the Mamba Sports Academy he really wanted that to be his legacy. It was like, you know what, I'm going to give this amazing sports academy, and I want that to be my legacy and have it live on. I just miss him. I don't know. It still doesn't seem real.
It doesn't seem real. And I tell you the thing that brings me to like a real emotional place, and it happens all the time. I put myself in position of those who I know that I've lost or suffered. I lost my best friend when I was 11, and there's not a day that goes by when my son wants to ride his bike because my best friend who died got hit by a car on his bike that I'm not thinking about someone's going to come hit my son on his bike. Not giving him the full freedom he deserves because I'm scarred. And there's not a time that when I have to take a flight, I was just in Atlanta to see you, and people are like, dog, you don't like to travel much. And I'm like, it's not just because I don't want to land and have fun and do my work. It's because I don't want to leave my family. Kobe Bryant took a routine helicopter ride and never came back. So every time I travel, man, and it's the worst experience, emotionally, I'm like, I said goodbye to my family. But will that be the ultimate goodbye, And I just hate going to those places, but I really do. And no matter what, when Kobe Bryant comes to my mind, I just think about all those that, not us as much, and we feel it too, but his daughters, his wife, and that's like the family. And to have your dad be borrowed by the world for all that time, and finally you got him to yourself, and you still don't have him. That's unreal. Yeah, let's transition, man, to a Wileyism and talk about the Wileyism for today. Hurt people, hurt people. What does that hit you, John?
Misery loves company. Period. It's bizarre. We as humans, and I fortunately don't really fall into this category, but I do see a lot of people who fall into the trap that they want drama in their life for some reason. They want the story. It's almost like, oh my God, my elbow hurts. I need to go see a doctor. And then they go see the doctor and they go, oh, the doctor said it was this unusual thing. And oh, I'm special. And oh, I'm hurt and I got drama. And so they create this drama and the narrative in their mind. And what they're doing is they're hurting themselves because they're just trying to think that they're special. And by doing that, they're digging themselves a hole where they're just a hurt person. Like you're lying to yourself. You're a hurt person. You're trying to cover up for something. I don't know. But whatever it is, you're not happy with you. Now what you try to do is drag other people down. You're like, oh, you know what? I bet your elbow hurt. Does your elbow hurt? Oh, I bet it's because of this and this and this. And it's like, oh yeah, you broke up with your guy. Well, I bet it's because of this and this and you're like, dude, just be comfortable in your own skin. Like, que sera, sera, dude. Like, don't, the whole misery loves company, hurt people. It's sad, but true far too often than it should be.
Oh, yeah, I think it's 100% true. I've seen it lived out. They're almost like a projection, a projector. They're feeling it on the inside. They didn't get the love that they wanted. Mom and daddy wasn't home, or mommy and daddy was home but not alert, not attentive. Whatever it may be, something makes them feel less than. And then they project that on someone else. No matter who they are, they're trying to make that person feel less than because that's how they feel, right? And it's crazy when you're feeling that type of pain because, John, you and I are built the same. Seriously, it's hilarious. When I hear the stories, I'm like, I'm the same way. I don't fight. I'm not getting into anything with anybody. You say something against me or bad about me, you're probably right. Like, I'm giving you your props. Good for identifying it, right? And it's funny, when people are hurt, they feel their pain and they don't even seek the medicine. They seek to inflict more pain. They don't even go to the places that can really help them. And I learned this lesson when I was young because my uncles, I didn't have any brothers, so my uncles were like my pseudo brothers. And they were in the streets, gangsters. Like, I look back and I was like, oh, they really gangbang. Like, when they're your uncle and you're like 7, 9 or whatever, you're just like, that's my uncle. But people kind of scared of him or people love him and people fear him. But I was like, whatever. But now I look back at some of the pictures. Oh, they got blue rollers in their hair with perms, blue cutlasses, blue rags. I'm like, yo, they were OG gangsters, right? 2 of them got killed. Yeah, look at you laughing. Like 2 of them got killed, 1 suicide.
You're like most people use that as an expression. In your case, you're like, wait, that's real?
Yeah, it's real. Like, matter of fact, I'm breaking it down, right? But the craziest thing and one of the most helpful things from a kid born in Compton, raised in South Central LA, was to see those guys, my uncles, be heroes on the streets, heroes in their cars, heroes everywhere they went. But I got to see them behind the veil, in the house, crying, hurting, frustrated, angry. And I started to realize, all these criminals, these gangsters, these guys out there that are bullying people are the ones that are the most hurt. And we over here revering them. You get to that adolescent age, people look up to guys that are misfits or deviant. And I skipped that whole step just because I was able to see that hurt people hurt people. And that was just such an amazing moment for me. Didn't choose it, but certainly accepted it for what it really was. Well, that's it for Never Shut Up on Brinks TV. John Brenkus and I will be back hella soon. Let's get this thing going, man. We've been having a great time. Thanks for your support. And keep learning or unlearning with us on Never Shut Up. Peace.